And just when I thought I was going to get back on the desk to bring you guys another edition of OwlAccess Pass, Mother Nature decides otherwise. Well, don't worry, we are just as good virtually as we are in person. Well, almost, but anyway, under a foot of snow, we are talking spring sports because why not? It's time for another edition of OwlAccess Pass.
Here's Perry getting the steal into the open lane. It's run again.
Hello, Owl fans, and welcome to this edition of OwlAccess Pass. She's Brooklyn Vaughn, and I'm Adam Cronally. As you can see, we're unfortunately not in the studio due to the snow, and Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, which confirms 6 more weeks of winter. Gotta love that, right? But regardless, the show must go on.
Well, it is a time to be sad with the loss of a legend, but it also gave us the chance to celebrate a life well lived. The news broke on Friday that Coach Chaney had passed away at the age of 89. The former Temple basketball coach was an icon in the Philadelphia area and in the world of college basketball. And I was lucky enough to piece together some of his memories and tell a small part of Coach Chaney's story, one that has impacted countless lives on Broad Street and beyond.
In basketball and really college athletics as a whole, the name Coach Chaney is synonymous with winning. 741 career wins to be exact. It started at Chaney State in 1972, where Coach Chaney spent 10 years building a powerhouse. The Wolves made 8 trips to the Division II NCAA tournament and won 1 national title. Chaney moved to North Broad in 1982, and the wins kept pouring in. In 24 years at Temple, Chaney had just 1 season below 500, and that was in season number 1.
I felt that we could overcome anything if we spent more hours of hard work and if we just continued to work hard. Not making the kids think that it was insurmountable, making them think that they could accomplish great things. Because we didn't always recruit All-American high school players. It was very seldom we did. We had youngsters that were willing to work and get up early in the morning. That was a great thing about it.
With that approach stretching over 24 years, Chaney led his team to the NCAA tournament 17 times, including 8 trips to the Elite 8.
Coach Chaney hasn't coached here at the Liacouras Center since 2006, but when you walk inside, you can't miss him. There's the Chaney statue in the lobby and the actual court that bears his name. But his time along the sidelines didn't come without a healthy dose of controversy.
There was the post-game altercation with then UMass coach John Calipari in 1994, where Chaney threatened to kill his A-10 rival, and the Goon game in 2005 versus St. Joe's, where Chaney sent in one of his players to intentionally commit hard fouls. This move ended with Chaney being suspended for about the final month of the season. But time does, in fact, heal all wounds, and for Chaney, his legacy at Temple is undeniable. It starts with his winning ways and ends with the hundreds of young men he mentored over the years.
And to see so many of our great players go on to success, not just in the pros, but success in teaching and success in other endeavors, that to me is the most gratifying.
Between his time at Chaney State and Temple, he was the first black coach to record 700 collegiate wins, and that has helped him take his place in the Big Five and College Basketball Hall of Fame.
I've worked hard, extremely hard, to move the margin of success so that you could have great success. We should not be on the edges when we know so much about life, and we can move away from the margins of success.
And the success for his players and for himself was highlighted by a passion to educate and inspire youngsters through the game of basketball and beyond.
Following the passing of the legendary head coach, one of his former players and the current head coach of the men's basketball team Aaron McKie talked about the impact that Coach Chaney made in his 4 years at Temple, including that memorable Elite Eight appearance, as we know. This is Aaron McKie. We're talking about a guy that went from Philadelphia born to a Philadelphia Temple Owl to a Philadelphia 76er. He talked about the impact Coach McKie had on North Broad.
Just talking to him over the past year, he was at peace with everything. He was in good spirits. He was at peace with everything. I have a heavy heart now, selfishly, because he's one of those guys who's supposed to be here forever. But I'm at peace, and I'm the fruit. He planted the seeds for not just myself, but for a lot of guys, for a lot of young men, and gave me an incredible opportunity. And I'm here now because of him, because of how he fought for so many inner city kids. And I'm here because of him. And, you know, I have a heavy heart now, but I can smile because he's in a better place now. He inspired me since I was a little kid. I mean, he was one of few Black men that I can look at in our society and say, I want to be just like him.
The men's team was in action on Sunday versus Tulane, of course, taking a moment before tip-off to honor Coach Chaney. And there's Devondre Parody, who helped the Owls pull out to a 12-6 lead early on in this one, but the Owls aren't in control for long. At the other end, Kevin Cross fakes the corner three and drives past Forrester for the reverse lay-in. He had 15 on the afternoon for the Green Wave. Owls are on the fast break the other way. Jeremiah Williams finds Jake Forrester for the long alley-oop. You know we had to roll that one twice. Jordan Walker is working on Caleb Battle. He takes a step back, Jay, for 2 of his 15 to keep Tulane on their scoring run. Tylen Pope keeps it going with the spin move inside for the and one. Tulane held the Owls scoreless for over 4 minutes, and they outscored them 46-37 in the second half. Final score from the League Corps Center, 81-64. Temple falls to a 4-5 overall record.
Even with the loss, Temple starters have looked pretty strong over the past few games. Damian Dunn was able to play his game, drawing contact and getting to the free throw line. And Jake Forrester has been hot over the past 4 games, averaging over 13 points per game to go along with 8 rebounds during that stretch. The key with Jake is to stay out of foul trouble. He fouled out in the win against Tulsa last Tuesday. If Forrester can stay in games, he's a difference maker in the front court for the Owls. As you know by now, Jalen Forbes had it going on for the Green Wave. Forbes shot 4 for 8 from 3 and actually shot 50% overall, too. An added bonus, the Alabama transfer played all 40 minutes in the Tulane victory.
The women's team was also in action this weekend against the Green Wave, but they traveled down to New Orleans for the back-to-back games on Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately for the Owls, they are returning home winless. Their first matchup on Saturday was a complete blowout, the Owls getting outscored 46-9 in the second half alone. Sunday's contest was a bit tighter thanks to an impressive performance from Mia Davis, who was just named to this week's AAC honor roll. Final score of that one, 71-69. The Owls fall to 5-7 on the season.
There's been a lot of basketball talk, but more sports are coming your way, Owl fans. Fall style in the spring. Pierre Cayette and the men's soccer team are getting ready to open the season down south in Tampa, Florida against the USF Bulls. You can watch the game on ESPN Plus Saturday, February 6th at 7 o'clock.
And more soccer action is coming your way from the ladies as well. The women's team is back in action on Sunday, February 7th. Nothing like kicking off the season with a Big 5 matchup. The Owls will be traveling across the city to take on St. Joe's at Sweeney Field. Kickoff is at 1 p.m.
Golf, golf, golf. That's right. We're less than 3 weeks away from having some Temple golf to talk about on OwlAccess Pass. The golf team will tee off on February 22nd down in South Carolina. I got to tell you, Brooklyn, that view looks a lot better than what we have up here right now with about a foot of snow.
Yeah, you got that right. And last but not least, field hockey is back in action and looking to improve on its 7-10 record set back in the 2019 season. The Owls will be taking on the Hofstra Pride on their own turf, Howard Field, on Friday, February 12th at 1 p.m.
We still have a little bit of time before the outdoor sports get going, but let's go inside where it's warm with some Temple volleyball. Temple said hello to an old conference foe after its originally scheduled matches against LaSalle were postponed. The come-from-behind trend continued. Temple dropped the opening set before winning 3 straight to win the match 3-1 over the UConn Huskies. Another strong performance from Mirai Bolak-Basi helped get the job done. The junior has the Owls off to a 2-0 start in 2021. Temple will take on St. John's this Saturday.
Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of OwlAccess Pass. But don't worry, we will be back in the studio the next time you guys see us.
And in the meantime, be sure to stay connected with us on our Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube channel for the latest on all things Temple athletics. Until next time, stay safe, and Brooklyn and I will talk to you next week.